Darami, I say, whenever I leave the house, and on whatever thing my eyes fall on,
وسلموا تسليما حتى تنالوا جنة ونعيما صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما حتى تنالوا جنة ونعيما
Allah Ta'ala says, Wallahu yuhibbu as-sabirin. Allah Ta'ala is with the
School governing body of South Coast Madrasa.
وسلموا تسليما حتى تنالوا جنة ونعيما صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما حتى تنالوا.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Alhamdulillah. So just on behalf of Medina Institute, the Youth Unity Foundation, the Abu Bakr Siddiq Youth Group, I would like to welcome our brothers and our sisters to this event, the anxiety and depression and the solutions that can be found within Islam and within the Quran.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد الصادق الوعد الأمين وعلى آله وأصحابه وأحبابه وأتباعه أجمعين. أما بعد, my dear beloved, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. An ayah that is appropriate in the subject that we're talking about, and every ayah is appropriate in its own ways, but there's some ayahs that sometimes strike you and they stand right before you, and that's the miracle of the Book of Allah. First, you all know why we start always with the Book of Allah. Because Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in the hadith that is sahih said, الحديث رواه الإمام مسلم في صحيحه and رواه الإمام النسائي بإسناد صحيح. He says, إن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله تعالى وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله تعالى عليه وعلى آله وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها. طيب. There's an ayah where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يسأله بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يسأله من في السماوات والأرض كل يوم هو في شأن. يسأله من في السماوات والأرض. Everyone, the meaning of the ayah, everyone who's in heavens and on earth is asking Allah or asks Allah. Wait, there are things asking Allah in heavens, في السماوات? Yes. And the malaika are في السماوات, as you all know. And there are things في السماوات. But Allah says, يسأله من في السماوات والأرض. All those, or those on earth and in heavens, they ask Him, subhanahu wa ta'ala. And before we can go into any topic, I always want to say, look, if we don't know who we are and where we're going, where did you come from? Where are you going? Who are you? Who are you? Now, I don't want you to give me your name or what you do. Today, you ask people who are you, they tell you what they do. Or they tell you where they live. They tell you where they come from. All that stuff doesn't really matter. Who really are you as a human being? As a believer in Allah Ta'ala and the glorious messenger of His, the final of prophets alayhi salatu wassalam. Who are you? Where do you fit? What's your message? We're going to live whatever how. May Allah grant you all long lives. And healthy long lives. Let me say this, healthy long. May Allah grant you all healthy long lives. Lakin how long do we live? How long do you want to live? No matter how long you live, it's the same anyway eventually. It's the same. It's the same if you are not with Allah. There's an Arab poet. He says, المرء رهن مصائب لا تنقضي حتى يوارى جسمه في رمسه. He says that the human being, as soon as you're born, you are now welcome to the dunya, right? Dunya means what? Lower form of life. Dunya versus ulya. Dunya is the lower form of life. So welcome to the lower form of life. And that by definition means what? Difficulties, hardships, sadness, sorrow, challenges, pain, struggle. I'm going to say this, bitter sweetness. You all know what I'm talking about. Bitter sweetness. Ajib, Allah Ta'ala in His creation, yani the ajab of the qudra of Allah Ta'ala in His creation, how you have bitter, He gives you bitter sweetness, sweet bitterness. To show you. But we want to make our dunya Jannah. You're sadly mistaken. This is the wrong address. Sir, you've made the wrong turn. This dunya is not the akhirah. It's never going to be. Do as you will. It's never going to be the akhirah. It's never going to be Jannah. If you take it as dunya, the lower form of life, you prepare for the higher form of life. But if you don't understand that this is the lower form of life, and it's a limited lower form of life as well, you may miss out on a lot in the higher form of life. This poet says, Al-mar'u rahnu masa'ib. The human being, the minute they're born, is hostage to difficulties and challenges that are endless. You finish from one, you get a bigger one. You overcome a bigger challenge, you say, now I can breathe. All of a sudden, few more weeks, few more months, few more years, some other thing. You get over a painful experience only to see another thing that happens. That's just what it is. He says, Al-dunya al-mar'u rahnu masa'ib. As long as you're a human being living in the lower form of life, which is dunya, you are hostage. He uses the word hostage. So in other words, as if you really cannot get out of it, to pains and challenges and difficulties that will never end until you finish. He says, فَمُؤَجَّلٌ أو فَمُؤَجَّلٌ يَلْقَى الرَّدَى فِي أَهْلِهِ وَمُؤَجَّلٌ يَلْقَى الرَّدَى فِي نَفْسِهِ. He says, if Allah makes you mu'ajjal, mu'ajjal means He grants you long life. How long you want to live? Like Nuh alayhi salam. Okay. You live 900 years, 1,000 years, 1,100 years, whatever it is. Huh? How many you want to live? He says, if Allah gives you long life, you will taste the bitterness of death, not one time, many times. The loved ones you have will die one after another before your eyes. You will taste that bitterness. Anyone you get attached to will leave you before you leave. You will taste death so many times you would wish that you were dead long ago. I don't, let's get done with this. He says that's if Allah gives you a long life. وَمُعَجَّلٌ, but if Allah does not give you long life, takes your life short, يَلْقَى الرَّدَى فِي نَفْسِهِ. You look, my nafs, Ya Allah, why you didn't give me enough time? I did not do this yet. I want to do this. I want to do that. It seems that both ways the human being is not happy. And therefore, looking for happiness in the lower life or lower form of life can only be with one thing. Allah. Really. Money makes things easier. Doesn't necessarily grant you happiness. Power may make things easier. Doesn't necessarily make things happier. The only way you can navigate through this lower form of life, which has lots of good things. I'm not trying to give you a pessimistic view of all things. No, no, no. There are lots of good. I always said bittersweetness is really the key. Or sweet bitterness, whichever you like to look at it. But life, actually, the lower form of life can be elevated to be very close to the higher form of life. Close, not there. If you are with Allah. And therefore the key is that we want to be with Allah. And therefore before we even talk about the whole subject, I have to ask you my usual question. How is your heart with Allah? How's your heart with Allah? You and yourself. How's your heart with Allah? Are you comfortable with Allah? Do you talk to Allah in your dua? Dua means you talk to Allah. That's what dua means. Or do you just talk about Allah? You don't talk to Him. In your salah, do you just read things? Or do you talk to Him? Do you say, Bismillah, in the name of Allah, Bismillah, Ya Allah, I am invoking your name, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Alhamdulillah. You're talking to Him. Or do you just read things? The reason I have to ask this question is because where's your heart with Allah? Close to Allah? Far away from Allah? Where are you? Where do you belong? What's in your heart? Because regardless, you and whatever is in your heart in this lower form of life will come to an end. The only thing that will never come to an end is Allah. And if you attach yourself to Allah Ta'ala, that's how you move from this lower form to a higher form. And that's why Allah says here, He opens the door for all of us to be close to Him. يَسْأَلُهُ مَنْ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. The direct translation would mean everyone on earth and in heavens ask Him. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is He telling you? Everything on earth and in heavens ask Him. So you ask Him. But asking Him means what? He's opening a door for you to be close to Him. To rely on Him. To implore Him. To beg Him. And that's why يَسْأَلُهُ مَنْ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. And that's why you need your heart. Because you see, Allah, as An-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa ashabihi wa azwajihi wa sallam said في صحيح الإمام مسلم, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَنْظُرُ إِلَى صُوَرِكُمْ وَلَا إِلَى أَجْسَادِكُمْ وَلَكِنْ يَنْظُرُ إِلَى قُلُوبِكُمْ. Allah does not look at your bodies, what you're wearing, what your title may be, where you live, what kind of degree you have, how much money you make, all that stuff Allah does not. Allah looks at your heart. Because the journey to Allah is a journey of the heart in the first place, not that of the body or mind as much.
صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما حتى تنالوا جنة ونعيما. صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما حتى تنالوا جنة ونعيما. صلوا عليه.
That's why when He opened the door, why do you think An-Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said in the authentic hadith, الدعاء هو العبادة? Or another Hasan hadith, الدعاء مخ العبادة. الدعاء is ibadah. الدعاء is the heart of ibadah. Why do you think the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is telling you this? What is dua? Dua is talking to Allah. He's telling you that's ibadah, that's the heart of ibadah. Remember, talk to Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the first thing you want to say, Ya Allah, Ya Allah. To realize who you are and who He is. to realize at the end of the day, no matter how big you are, you're on this earth, and this earth is part of a huge solar system. To go to Mars takes you a lot of years, just to travel. And the whole Milky Way anyway, and you know I'm not talking about the chocolate. You know, do you have a chocolate Milky Way here also in South Africa? Yeah. Remember when we were kids, we had to have that. Along with Mars, so I'm talking about that. There's relation. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala. Like, and this whole Milky Way is very small, and the whole solar system is very small in the whole Milky Way galaxy, which is millions of light years, and then the whole Milky Way is almost insignificant in this other bigger system and bigger system and bigger system and bigger systems, and Allah is the creator of all. You may be big as a creation, but you cannot be that big of a creation. Maybe we should start using a microscope or a telescope rather than a microscope. Then maybe we see things through a telescope, and then we make some analogy and qiyas. But oftentimes we look with a microscope. But you can be big if you are with Allah. That's the only way. You can make it if you are with Him. But if you have everything in the world and you don't have Him, if you did not find Him in a way that's suitable to Him, obviously, and you have the whole world with you, you have indeed lost. And if you have found Him, you have found everything you need. يسأله من في السماوات والأرض كل يوم. If we want to stop there, everyone on earth and in heavens ask Him every day. And He grants people every day. And He gives to people every day. And He opens for people every day. You are not calling someone who is absent. You are not calling on someone who does not hear or see, but you're calling on someone who is present, and He hears all and sees all, subhanahu wa ta'ala. And He commanded you to call Him by His name. قُلِ ادْعُوا اللَّهَ أَوِ ادْعُوا الرَّحْمَنَ. Call Him, Ya Allah. Ya Allah. The Quran tells you when the people in the ship started moving and shaking in the ocean, and the winds start coming, the people on the ship, they started saying, Ya Allah. The captain is important, but Ya Allah is the one who will save. Those who used to be lost in the whole wide desert. And when people are lost in the desert, it means it's imminent death. Because there's no water. And it's swerved from the way because of the sandstorms and all these things. They were calling Ya Allah. When disasters and difficulties and diseases happens and death comes, those people who are afflicted, they call Ya Allah. When the doors in front of you all close, every single thing you try to get, and the doors close, and the curtains also shut in the faces of those who are begging, they say Ya Allah. And that's where you need to be. When everything that you have, all hopes are extinguished and exhausted, and there's no more rope that you can hold on to, Ya Allah is what you need to hold on to. If the whole earth becomes so narrow, despite its vastness on you, you call unto Ya Allah. To Him, يَصْعَدُ الْكَلِمُ الطَّيِّبُ. Your good words are elevated to Him. Your dua is raised to Him. Your sincere dua and calling is raised to Him. Your innocent and loving tears and crying that you do out of loving Him and wanting to be close to Him and out of repenting from all our deeds to Him, that also goes to Him. When you extend your hand in the dua and you ask Allah to give you, and when your eyes are asking and when your heart is asking, that goes to Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not, the dua was never lip service. Lip service doesn't do it. When your ruh, when you mention Him, and you mention His name subhanahu wa ta'ala, and your soul calms, and your heart finds tranquility, and your sort of calmness befalls upon you, and His love envelopes you, and your yaqeen in Him, your faith in Him settles. You really realize what Allah said in His Quran, Allahu latifun bi'ibadih. Allah is kind unto His slaves. Kind. But you need to be exposed to that kindness. He's kind. The question is not whether He's not kind with you. The question is, do you see His kindness? That's the question. All the names that you call Him with, subhanahu wa ta'ala, His names and His attributes, you realize that from Him you imbibe or you take, you draw power, you draw wealth, you draw wisdom, you draw knowledge. You take it from Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. And therefore, He's the one, أضحك وأبكى, Allah says, which means He's the one who made you laugh and He's the one who made you cry. So the one who made you cry can also make you laugh. If you are with Him, He may changes your cry into laugh and your sadness into happiness. But if you are with everything else, then obviously it's a problem. And therefore we seek refuge to Allah from relying on anything but Him, and from seeing anything but Him, and from realizing that happiness comes from anything else other than Him. He is the one who grants it. Not the money, not the power, not the wealth, not the health, not everything. If Allah grants you that closeness to Him or pleasure upon you, that from Him that envelopes you, what else do you want? Musa alayhi salam, Allah told him, وَأَلْقَيْتُ عَلَيْكَ مَحَبَّةً مِنِّي وَلِتُصْنَعَ عَلَىٰ عَيْنِي. Oh Musa, the meaning of the ayah, أَلْقَيْتُ, I have, the meaning of the ayah would mean, I have thrown, like to throw something, I have thrown my love onto you. As if the love of Allah was thrown onto Musa and wrapped him up and enveloped him entirely in Allah's love. وَلِتُصْنَعَ عَلَىٰ عَيْنِي. You, Ya Musa, shall grow up under my direct care. And therefore throw him in the river. You worried about throwing him in the river as an infant? Allah's love is enveloping him. Which river can overtake that? Throw him to the river and send him to the palace of Fir'aun, the very enemy of Allah, to be raised with care and love. Ajib. Remember the bittersweetness? The enemy of Allah, Fir'aun, and in the heart of the enemy of Allah's Fir'aun, in his own palace, with his own direct special care, Musa Kalimullah is being raised. The nur of Nubuwwah is right there shining, and Allah is using His enemies as the tools. They think they fool Allah. Do you place your reliance on Fir'aun and his might and his power, or you place your yaqeen like the mother of Musa did on Allah? That's where it is. Therefore, The first thing is be happy. Be happy. Be happy. What do I mean by be happy? Iman and good deeds are the secret. Iman and good deeds are the secret for happiness. If you have no Iman and no good deeds, your happiness is very transient. It's very short-lived. It's not going to last. You're going to be dependent on many things. Whatever makes you happy, you want to get higher dose. And the only thing that gives you actually reward on your investment is belief and good deeds. Notice Allah never just said الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, but said إِنَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا وَتْعَمِلُوا. Not طالحات, صالحات, right? Did not do bad deeds, they did good deeds. There is no way. Don't let people tell you, especially nowadays with what we do, that as long as you say the kalima, you're good to go. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ. Indeed, the human beings at lost. Except who? At lost. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. Don't think that without amal salih, just a theoretical utterance will suffice you for absolute and complete salvation. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam tells Fatima, who is better than Fatima? Al-Zahra radiyallahu anha. Ya Fatima tu'mali. Oh Fatima, do good deeds. Ya Bani Abdul Muttalib. Oh sons of Abdul Muttalib, go do good deeds. Ya Abbas bin Abdul Muttalib. Oh Abbas, go do good deeds. Good deeds will save you in this lower life and in the upper one. Not only that, they will actually save your children. They will prevent evil from you because of your good deeds. Hadith Sahih. You all know Hadith Sahih, where Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam tells us, Dawu mardakum bis-sadaqah. If you have people who are sick or have a disease, heal them through sadaqah. Ajib. Good deeds, Ya Rasulullah, sadaqah I give. Yeah, with the niyyah of healing. What does this have to do with this? That's not your job.
صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما حتى تنالوا جنة ونعيما. صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما حتى تنالوا جنة ونعيما. صلوا عليه.
Do good deeds. Yes. They will make you happy. I'll tell you why. Allah Ta'ala created this universe entirely based on the law of justice and reciprocation. Everything. Why? Where do I get this from? Quran. I'll give you the ayah. Everything you do, good or evil, everything you do, whether good or bad, will never remain unreciprocated. Let me say it again. Nothing you do, good or bad, will remain unreciprocated. Doesn't matter. You cannot get away with anything. If you think you're getting away with anything, you have a problem in the belief in Allah, the Creator who knows everything and is just. There is nothing you can get away with. Everything you do, good or evil, will not remain unreciprocated. If you do good, it's going to be reciprocated. In the dunya, before the akhirah. Let me repeat. In the dunya, before the akhirah. If you don't see that, maybe you need to change your glasses of the heart. So you see. Look at fi Surah Al-Kahf. What does he say? Al-Khidr alayhi salam, when he built the wall over the treasure of those in that village where they denied them even food. Please, you're reading Surah Al-Kahf obviously. He says, وَكَانَ أَبُوهُمَا صَالِحًا. Why? Musa alayhi salam al-Kalim says to Al-Khidr, why are you building this wall? You're building this home now. We came to this village to ask them for food. They denied us even food. And now you're making a free construction company for these people? Building them their home? Al-Khidr in his explanation في Surah Kahf, please read it. He says, under this home that's collapsing is a treasure. Lots of money. And Allah ordered me to build it, to construct it, because the owner of this house has died. And he left 2 young orphans. They're too young now. So I need to build this, construct this house, so allowing the young children to grow up and be mature so they can claim it. Once they claim it, they'll find their treasure. The reason I did that, Allah commanded me to do this. وَكَانَ أَبُوهُمَا صَالِحًا. Their father was a good man. We don't know about the children what they will be. That's not, the Quran didn't even talk about them. Allah sent Al-Khidr and Musa, Al-Kalim, wal-Khidr alayhi salam, both to build a home for 2 orphans that this home has a treasure underneath it. Why? Because the father of those 2 orphans was a good man. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا صَالِحَاتٍ. What was their father? Salihah. You want to secure your future? Be with Allah. Allah grants you everything. Your children, you don't have to worry and stress. You have to worry a lot if you're not doing good deeds. Yeah, of course. But that worry is not going to do you any good either. In this dunya, you know this dunya is short. Short. No matter how long you live. Use it. Use your time. Choose a project you like to be part of. Something for Allah, not just for your own desires. So that you actually invest some time for Allah. Something good to serve the creation, to serve the Creator. Do good, ya akhi, even if there's no reciprocation. Don't look for recognition, because you're going to be sadly mistaken and disappointed and frustrated. Your relation has to be with Allah, not with the creation. Be happy. How do you be happy? Choose a path in this life. A path that takes you to Allah. Don't be always running from the creation to the creation. You're running in circles, and that circle is vicious. And the creation doesn't appreciate. The creation is ungrateful. We're ungrateful. We're ungrateful to Allah, let alone to the creation. I mean, come on. قَلِيلٌ مِّنْ عِبَادِيَ الشَّكُورِ, Allah says. Few of my slaves are grateful. لا إله إلا الله. شوف حتى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم and our mother عائشة الصديقة رضي الله عنها, الحديث الصحيح, you all know it. Our mother Aisha is not your average woman. With all the respect to our women, we love them all. But الصديقة عائشة يعني فقيهة, عالمة, صحابية. Not any Sahabi, that's the household. Yani, how close can you be to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? She sees him praying, and her heart, Ya Rasulullah, why are you doing this to yourself? وَقَدْ غَفَرَ اللَّهُ لَكَ مَا تَقَدَّمَ مِنْ ذَنْبِكَ وَمَا تَأَخَّرَ. And he tells her, Ya Aisha, أَفَلَا أُحِبُّ أَنْ أَكُونَ عَبْدًا شَكُورًا. Ya Aisha, shouldn't I love to show my gratitude to my Lord? Few are those who are like that. Therefore, think and thank. Think and thank. What do you mean think and thank? Think about Allah, what Allah has given you, and thank Him. Think and thank. Key. The ulama of tazkiyah, they always say, which is better, love or gratitude? What's better, to love Allah Ta'ala or to show gratitude? They say gratitude. How come? They say real love is not firm. It's a long thing. Usually when people love, they expect reciprocation. Gratitude, you expect no reciprocation. Thank you. Thank you. like this. I don't, you don't have to thank you. Don't say anything. And that's why Allah Ta'ala in the Quran says, لَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِدَنَّكُمْ. If you show your gratitude to me, I will give you more and more. The meaning of the ayah. And therefore, real shukr takes you to the maqam of mahabba, to the maqam of love. If you are thankful really, genuinely, you are then in love. That's why think and thank. You know, it's not, would you like to have all the money in the world but not have your eyes? All the money, millions. Here, $1 million if someone was to offer, but take your eyes. Thank him. What do you want? You have 2 buildings in town and not have your ears? Think and thank. Thank him subhanahu wa ta'ala. Look at people who don't have as well. Look at what he gave you. Look at that every single day we display public disobedience to him. Every single day. Publicly we disobey him. Flagrantly we disobey him. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah forgive us. Yet he continues to show his kindness and forgiveness upon you. That by itself requires thanking, Habibi. That by itself, that, Ya Allah, I am such a abd, such a slave that's ungrateful, and you're teaching me how to be close to you by your glory and grace, and by your giving me even more, though I'm not worthy. That requires thanking. It's a moment of truth. That we have to put ourselves in. You want to exchange your hands with the mountain of Uhud in gold? I'll give you a mountain of Uhud, make it gold, a whole mountain, and you have no hands. You want to do that? Who wants to do that? It's crazy, it's insane. Thank him, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Thank him while you can. And what I mean by thanking him, you understand, I'm not saying thank him with your lips. Allah says, اعملوا آل داود شكرا. Let your limbs translate your thankfulness. Let your eyes translate your thankfulness. Let your heart translate your thankfulness. Let your feet translate your thankfulness. Let your hands translate your thankfulness. Be thankful genuinely, not lip service. Thankfulness is not just saying Alhamdulillah and that's it. Thankfulness is a state of gratitude, all of you, that encompasses you entirely. Don't be amongst those whom Allah said, يَعْرِفُونَ نِعْمَةَ اللَّهِ ثُمَّ يُنْكِرُونَهَا. They know the ni'mah of Allah. They know what Allah has given them, but they're in denial of it. Allah said in the meaning of what Allah said in the Quran. Don't be in denial of it. وَفِي أَنفُسِكُمْ أَفَلَا تُبْصِرُونَ. In your nafs, what Allah has given you, don't you see? Think and thank. Very important. Then, another thing, don't live in the past. Don't live in the past. The biggest mistake you can do is living the past. I'm not saying don't learn from the past, but don't live the past. Don't live your past. Sad or good or so, everything is going to happen. But don't live your past. تِلْكَ أُمَّةٌ قَدْ خَلَتْ. It's a nation that has gone. You can get everything back. You can get health back. You can get wealth back if you lost it. You can get love back. You can even get your iman back. There's one thing you can never get back. Time. Time you can never, ever get back. Every second that clicks, you can never reclaim that second at all. No way, no matter who you are. Done. Anything else you can get back. Even like I said, even your iman. You lost your iman, you can regain. As long as you have time, you can regain your iman. You don't have time, and once time passes, there is no way you can reclaim it. You will never get any minute you lose or you pass. Never. Never. If I can tell you to be stingy in anything, time. Time is the most valuable thing after Iman that Allah has given you. Living in the past means you are not thinking, you're not experiencing or living your present, and you are not planning for your future. You should learn from the past. You should never live the past. The past has lots of painful things. Lots of them. Lots of them. But you can't live your past. Your past may have lots of painful experiences. You're not alone. You can't live your past. Whatever happened, happened and it's gone. It's time now to live your present.
صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما حتى تنالوا جنة ونعيما. صلوا عليه